Good evening, this is Jonathan Cabrera with the Unit 3 assignment for our VBA class. So virtually what it started out with was this Word document. It told us kind of step by step how we go and create lines and color those lines. And ultimately with all the code that it kind of gave us and the hints throughout it, we were able to create a checkerboard that starts off from the top left corner. And then the exercise asked us that we wanted to make sure that we do the same thing, but we want to do it from the selected cell versus starting off in A1. So this one utilizes D2. So I've already got my Excel document pre-opened, so I'll go the same thing. I have D2 selected, and then talk about the code, and then I'm going to go and execute the macro. So create a module called a checkerboard right here, and then named it the exact same way that the code was written in the word exercise. So, it was the sub function loops exercise. And it had the 10 by 10 checkerboard creation right here. Then, what's a little bit of a departure, what I did to execute the requirement of the exercise versus what they had prior as far as our steps to create it, where it started off in A1 was they used the for statements right here, R equals 1, C equals 1, and then if else statement and then ended the subfunction. So to offset this and change it to where I can go and modify the checkerboard to start from a selected cell, what I needed to do was create a couple variables. So you can see the dimension, and I named it offset rows, and it's going to be an integer because it's going to be the row number, and then the column number. So saying those should equate in numbers, hence the integer values. Then I'm going to go and use the active cell dot row and active cell dot column to make sure that it's going to the selected row that I wanted specifically. So again, starting with like D2 is kind of where we want. So ultimately, this is just saying that we're assigning the active cell, and then we're going to subtract 1 from it. So we go back into the column number and row number statements, and then we had to modify the if statement from previous. So this one, I'm going to use if, and then I'm going to use the row plus C, or column number. And then we're utilizing the same from what the word had in there. It talked about mod, which is, we're talking about the division of 2 on this one. And then 0, and then only how it goes into how even numbers are the remainder of 0 when divided by 2. So before, it was kind of just setting off to cells R and then changing the color to this one, which is red. And then if it didn't equal 0, then it did the else statement, which then would turn into black. So I had to change it by including, since we use the if statement with row plus column, it made us modify the then statement and the else statement. So cells row plus the offset rows, which we established the variable above, and then column plus the offset columns, which same variable above. And then we say the interior color is going to turn into a red, green, blue, and then 200 for the value. Else, if it doesn't equal 0, then we're saying that rows plus the newly stated variable for offset rows plus C plus offset columns variable, the interior color will turn into black. So just double check, make sure, hey, we have D2 selected. I'm going to go ahead and run the macro. So as soon as we pop back into Excel, we should see the checkerboard. And sure enough, hey, it started off at D2. So I'm going to go close this out, and I'm going to go open it up again. So I'll bring it open. Then I'm going to go and select, say, B3. Open up Visual Basic Editor. Here's the same macro. Confirm I had B3. Go back, run this guy, and then it should start from B3, sure enough. So that's my unit 3 assignment with the checkerboard starting from the active selected cell. If you have any questions or need further explanation, please let me know and have a good night. Bye.